couple things that I've been working on and talking about in recent months have been in the news this week. One, I've long railed against the film and tax credit, $420 million that's in our budget every year that goes to Hollywood filmmakers. The governor's own tax commission said 5-6 years ago that it doesn't work. Well, the governor came out yesterday and said, you know what, I'm open to reduction in the film tax credit because we can't pay for basic things like Medicaid and health care and the kinds of things that the government should pay for. So I'm very happy to hear the governor's coming around on that. We've been fighting for that loudly, and it's starting to make a difference. So why should we cut, the New Yorkers' ability to go to the doctor while we're making sure that Hollywood is flush with taxpayer cash? Makes total sense. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about this expansion of the prevailing wage law, that basically any project with state money would be subject to the prevailing wage law, which will make it much more expensive for taxpayers. It will make it much more difficult for smaller contractors to get bids on state-funded jobs, even if it's only a little bit of the money is state-funded. And just the other day, the NAACP of New York came out and said, we agree, this is going to hurt African Americans in the trades. It's going to make it harder and more expensive to build affordable housing. So again, an issue that we've been fighting for. Others are coming to see it our way, and I think that's positive for the state. I'm hopeful that we can definitely stop that bill and not have to deal with the damage to the economy, damage to the taxpayer, and damage to people who would kind of be unintended negative consequences of that bill. And the last thing that has been in the news the last week, I couldn't believe this. I kind of lost track. Former Speaker Sheldon Silver was indicted 5 years ago. He was convicted 4 years ago. Then there was a retrial because of a Supreme Court decision called into question the federal corruption laws. So he was retried with that Supreme Court decision in mind. He was convicted a second time in summer of 2018. He has not spent one night in jail. Not one night in jail. He's been convicted twice. There's liberals all over this place talking about two-tier justice and how, rich, connected people have one justice system and less fortunate people have a different justice system. I don't know if that's true by and large, but in this case, it certainly looks like a guy who was one of the most powerful people in this state for 20 years is getting a special kind of justice. And last week, the Second Circuit heard his appeal, and some of the judges indicated that they might overturn the decision again. So it's possible a man that everyone in this town knew was corrupt, who was twice convicted by a jury of his peers for that corruption, has yet to spend a night in jail. He might never spend a night in jail. And if that's the case, boy, we really have to take a look at our justice system, because it's certainly not working.